Hey everyone, I'm Nick, and this is Bits of Architecture. So in this episode of the series, we're going to be talking about the forwarding logic inside of a RISC-V pipeline processor. So in the past few videos, we've been looking at this pipeline processor and how we might handle some of the hazards or bubbles that occurred because of pipelining using forwarding. So for example, we might have a later instruction relying on the result from an earlier instruction, and instead of waiting for that earlier instruction to write that result back to our register file, we want to forward that value directly to our execute stage to prevent any kind of bubbles. And we did that with this forwarding unit here. So this forwarding unit would help us make a decision of should we choose, say, a value coming from our register file, one coming from our execution mem pipeline register here, or one coming from our mem writeback pipeline register. And this is what this forwarding unit kind of looks like up close. So it's taking in as an input our two source registers, so where are we accessing, say, from a register file, and then also destination registers from our later pipeline stages. So where are we writing to in our register file inside of our execution mem pipeline register and our mem writeback pipeline register. And we're expecting our forwarding unit to take in all of these values and properly set the select lines for our multiplexer back here. So to properly select which value to send to our ALU. But what exactly does this forwarding unit logic look like? So how do we make the decision of which value to send to our ALU? So should we forward something or not? So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So we can start by looking at the forwarding from our execution and mem pipeline register. So this is from the very next stage after execute. So there's really three checks that we need to make here to decide whether or not to forward a value from this stage. So number one, we need to make sure that the instruction in this stage or in this pipeline register is doing a write. So that's our first check. If this instruction in the next pipeline stage is not doing a write, then there's nothing to forward, right? This instruction is not updating the register file, so whatever we're accessing in the execution stage can't be using it because it's not updating the register file. Then, after we check to make sure that this instruction is doing a write, it's updating a register file, we make sure it's writing to a valid location here. So if the destination is not equal to 0, so our R0 register is kind of the special register in RISC-V, it's always 0. So we need to make sure we're writing to something other than our 0 register. And then the final check we have, our third check, is just a simple equality. We just need to make sure that, okay, is the register that we're writing to in this stage, inside of this execution mem pipeline register, equal to the one that we're accessing inside of our execute stage. So is, say, our destination register equal to our source register here? So if all of those things are true, so if we're doing a write, the write is to a valid location, and we're writing to where we're trying to access our source from, then we can go ahead and forward this value here. And then we just copy this exact same logic down here and do the same check for RS2. So we check to see, should we forward this value to RS1 or should we forward this value to RS2, if we should forward them at all here. But it's just these simple three checks here. Are we doing a write? Is the destination a valid register? And does the source and destination match, right? Those are our three checks. Now, our logic for forwarding from the next stage, so our mem writeback stage, is pretty much identical, right? At least as far as kind of a baseline goes. So we do the same three checks. We check to make sure that the instruction in that stage is doing a register write. We check to see if it's to a valid location, so if it's not equal to 0. And then we check to see if our destination is the same as the source that we're currently accessing. And if all of those things are true, we forward the value from this mem writeback pipeline register. Otherwise, right, we can also check to see if it's true for RS2. Right, so if these conditions are true, we forward. Otherwise, we don't forward anything. We just rely on, say, maybe from the previous stage to do the forwarding, or we rely on, say, just the value from the register file. So it's just these simple three checks. Now, we do run into a bit of a complication here with this simple logic. And what happens if we have, say, multiple hazards? So in the case of, say, accumulating some partial result. So in this case, right, we're just adding the contents into x1, right, repeatedly. So we're doing x1 plus x2, then x1 plus x3, and then x1 plus x4, and always storing the result into x1 here. So now we have a dependency between every single one of our instructions. So now we're going to have a register that's going to match our source in multiple different stages at the same time, right? So for example, inside of I3, right, when this gets to the execute stage, should we forward the result that's in the execute mim pipeline register or in the mim writeback pipeline register, right? We have multiple different values to choose from, right? So we have to update our logic a bit. So the question, of course, comes down to which of these values should we choose, right? Which value should we forward to our latest instruction? And the answer might seem somewhat obvious, but we should always forward the most recent value here. So we have to kind of remember here that this pipelining is really just an optimization, and our instruction set doesn't really have a concept of pipelining. We're just thinking of this in terms of logical operations. So I do this add, I've updated x1. So when I'm doing the second add, I'm expecting x1 to be this updated value here. And likewise, when I'm doing this third add, this instruction 3 right here, I'm expecting instruction 2 to already be done and updated x1. So I'm expecting the most recent value whenever I execute I3. I don't really care that underneath the hood you have pipelining going on. That's what I'm expecting as kind of a programmer writing this assembly. So in order to keep up that layer of abstraction, we have to make sure we're forwarding the most recent value, right, to our instructions. But how exactly do we handle this? Well, the way that we're going to handle this is by kind of disabling our forwarding from the mim writeback stage if that same value is already coming from our execute mim pipeline register, right? So let's go ahead and see how this looks. So we're going to keep the exact same logic here in terms of the kind of the baseline forwarding for our mim writeback stage. So we're still going to check to see if it's doing a register right, if the destination is a valid register, and if our destination is equal to the source. But before we do this check to see if our destination is equal to source, we're going to make sure that we're not already forwarding from our execution and mim stage, right? Our execution mim pipeline register. So that's what this highlighted box is really doing. It's just making sure that in order to forward from this mim writeback pipeline register, I can't be forwarding from our execution mim pipeline register. So you can see here in this check, we just have a check to see if we're forwarding from execution mim already. So if execution mim is doing a write, if the write is to a valid location, and if the destination is equal to the source, right? Our execution mim pipeline register destination is equal to the source, that is. So that's roughly all we're doing here. All we've done is say, hey, are we doing a write? Is the write to a valid location? Is the value not already being forwarded from our execution mim pipeline register? And if we can actually forward the value here. So if our destination matches the source, then we can forward from our mim writeback stage. So we just added this extra piece of logic to both of these, right? So both for our RS1 and RS2 case to make sure that we're always forwarding the most recent value being the one from an earlier pipeline stage, right? So that's always being given priority here. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and do it for today. It's kind of the basics of this logic that we'd implement for things like forwarding. And kind of the next videos, we'll look at some of the other things we need to handle, such as stall detection, right? So how do we determine when we actually need to stall a processor? Well, like I said, that's going to go ahead and do it for today. As always, I'm Nick, and I hope you have a nice day.